Cuando yo te pregunto que cómo,
Guys, thanks for coming. Don't start my time yet. Just let me get settled. I'm really impressed that there were people here who asked very good questions to the last talk. That blew my mind. I didn't know what to ask. And then that guy asked a great question. What was the Earth thing you talked about? Real Earth? Rare Earth? I don't know. But I guess it's a real thing, because you nodded and you didn't say that was a dumb thing. So basically I'm here to sell a book. We just released a best of our sports content called The Ecstasy of Defeat. And I'd love everyone to buy one. That's why I'm here. I'm not here for knowledge or to further your knowledge, because The Onion just doesn't care about our readers. But I will say, just to give you some background on The Onion, a lot of people don't know the history. So The Onion was formed in 1765 by a tuber farmer from Prussia named Friedrich Siegfried Zwiebel. And Friedrich came to the United States, and all he had to his name was a sack of yams. And he traded it for a printing press. He wanted it to get in the news business. So he created a newspaper called The Mercantile Onion, based on the only two words of the English language he knew. So here's the very first issue of The Onion. However, in 1783, as you may recall, the great journalism schism of 1783, the Mercantile went on to do its own thing, and The Onion became The Onion as we know it today. This is an issue from 1783. I don't know if you can read all of it, but we have mule deaths of late. 40,000 pounds of slave have been lost at sea. Quite a high commodity. Shame to lose that much commodity. The world's tallest man towers at 5'11" tall. Benjamin Franklin inventions this week. Have the Surgeon General has added snuff to the tobacco pyramid. Very big deal. So now we'll get more into the 20th century. And T. Herman Zwiebel, who a lot of people think that he was born in 1896, died in 2001. That's actually the tenure of his editorship. He was editor for 105 years, and he's still alive. We blasted him into outer space. He now lives inside of an iron lung, and he's being chased across space by his arch nemesis, Mr. Tin. He sometimes sends us missives, basically trying to get more money from advertisers. Earthquake marks least gay day in San Francisco history. The Onion was there. World's largest metaphor hits iceberg. War declared by all. Austria declares war on Serbia, declares war on Germany, declares war on France, declares war on Turkey, declares war on Russia, declares war on Bulgaria, declares war on Britain. Ottoman Empire almost declares war on itself. Whites invent rock and roll. Kennedy slain by CIA, Mafia, Castro, LBJ, Teamsters. President shot 129 times from 43 different angles. The Onion was the only newspaper to cover this story. Holy shit, man walks on fucking moon. Doesn't get much bigger than that. Reagan may have been elected, doesn't recall. Drugs win drug war. The people that went woo and yeah did not ask questions during the last talk. This is our front page of our 9/11 issue. U.S. vows to defeat whoever it is we're at war with. Hijackers surprised to find themselves in hell. One of my favorites, not knowing what to do, woman bakes American flag cake. Also on the inside of this issue, God clarifies no kill rule. Jerry Falwell, is that guy a dick or what? Al Gore places infant son in rocket to escape dying planet. That's his young baby Gorel, placing into some sort of butane grill. And also very important news, world's worst person decides to go into marketing. I'm thinking marketing, says horrible, horrible man. Black man given nation's worst job. Also, nation finally shitty enough to make social progress after the election of Barack Obama. Also, we were the only newspaper, if a lot of newspapers just would have stopped here, but we didn't. What if John McCain would have won? We went further. Nation elects first ever 44th white president, if John McCain would have won. This is how lazy we are. Nation not yet shitty enough to make social progress. And Maverick put in charge of world's largest nuclear arsenal. The one thing that The Onion can do is it can go into the future. A lot of people don't know that, and we have a leg up in a lot of news organizations because we are able to travel to the year 2056. Million Robot March attended by exactly 1 million robots. And a very big problem in 2056 that we will all encounter, opinion, we need a fourth law of robotics, stop fingering my wife. It's going to be a very big deal when we get there, so just heads up. For all your wives getting fingered by robots. But we're here to sell a book, Onion Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing more important in this world than sports. It is the most important thing ever. Everyone, football, God! That's the cover of the book. Go buy it. We're 1,004 million on Amazon right now. Football. Michael Vick fails to inspire a team with great dogfighting story. Here's a quote from the story. I don't know what their problem is because that story pumps me up every time, Vic said during a post-game press conference. It's a classic underdog story. On one side of the dogfighting pit, you had Maniac, who was a beast, and on my end, you had Zebra, who was pretty good but not great. Yet we had trained him hard. We strengthened his hind legs by forcing him to constantly jump at a teasing stick. We emotionally tortured him so that he would attack everything in sight. And from the time he was a little puppy, we toughened him up by beating him with a metal baton. I told my teammates that the stakes were high because if Zebra had lost, I would have either electrocuted him, drowned him, or slammed his body to the ground until he was dead. How is that not inspiring? This man is alive, it's like out of jail. Romeo Cornell to Charlie Weiss. I need you to come over right now and stop me from eating these 5 chocolate wedding cakes. Cornell was found in diabetic shock. He's dead, nicest thing said about Al Davis. If, by the way, if there aren't sports fans here, buy the book for your husband. Or for Father's Day or something. Microphone really creeped out by being so close to Ben Roethlisberger's face. Buffalo Bills acquire final piece of shit of the puzzle. Just the word shit, he is a piece of shit. Undefeated Colts to play football's Harlem Globetrotters. It's a couple years ago, different Colts team now. Denver Broncos fined $25,000 for running truly naked bootleg. Stolen Auburn playbook returned with spelling and grammar corrected. Couple mistakes there, incorrect use of there. It's an SEC school. Tony Womo out 3 to 4 weeks with broken whittle fingy. Just a quote from that story. Tony has been very, very brave. Through all this, and barely cried at all when he heard his little fingy was in fact broken, Coach Wade Phillips said Monday, explaining that Wilma was resting comfortably and watching cartoons at home and had thus far managed to keep his pinky out of his mouth. I'd say he's week to week, but it's up to the team medics to say when he's completely all better now. Report, Albert Hainsworth just a mound of ice cream and hot dogs. Incoming North Korean missile intercepted by Deion Sanders. We have him out there, patrolling, still in his San Francisco 49er uniform. Group of kids with diabetes all die one day after a visit from Jay Cutler. I will say that this did not happen in real life. It didn't. NFL meteorologists warn steaming black guy heads occurring later every year. This is a global warming. This is the problem with global warming. Steaming black guy heads used to be seen on camera as early as December. And now here we are in January. I haven't seen one steaming black guy head. Baseball, America's pastime. Barry Bonds took steroids, reports everyone who has ever watched baseball. No shit. Conseco, hey guys, want to come to my big steroid party this weekend? This is one of the great things about The Onion. We have one of the best photojournalism teams in town. A lot of photojournalists will just take pictures of what's going on. We can get into the minds of players. So, CeCe Sabathia, Prince Fielder keep imagining each other as giant, talking hot dog and hamburger. That's Pulitzer Prize winning material right there. Mr. Met takes frustration out on fans. David Ortiz plays game in Japan wearing camera, fanny pack. Kevin Youkilis keeps everyone on bus awake with another one of his nasty sex stories. I'll tell you, this only was written because of this picture. Somebody who looks like this must be thinking about nasty sex. And if you can read, well, yeah, I mean, just read one of those sentences about something. I think there's something about being a squirter in there. Fucking Yankees, reports Nation. And also, there's a guy named Alex Rodriguez, and he's been a part of our sports coverage. A-Rod asked for shinier helmet. A-Rod asked Jeter, is this heaven, while playing game of catch? What a dork. Mickey Mouse noticeably avoids A-Rod during trip to Disney World. Basketball. Mavericks incorporate machetes into hack-a-shack defense. Oh! Oh! Shaq misses entire second half with pulled pork sandwich. He was nursing that pulled pork sandwich for a long time. Kevin Garnett proves he can touch rim. He spent a lot of time in practice trying to prove he could touch rim. He also told his teammates he could dunk with a tennis ball if he really got a good jump. Kevin Durant accidentally reveals NBA uses systems of ropes and pulleys to help players dunk. Pretty big reveal, pretty amazing. Basically, we do a Tim Duncan character. He's a very normal man. Normal, but also one with the world. Tim Duncan sends belated great game card to Celtics for February defeat. Tim Duncan forwards story about particle accelerator to Spurs teammates. Tim Duncan offers to drive NBA players to polling place on election day. Is a great citizen, and also a man of the law. Tim Duncan spends free time trying to get wrongfully incarcerated man off death row. I think that's actually the most insane that's gotten with Tim Duncan. Lesser sports, Michael Phelps returns to his tank at SeaWorld. Still doing 7 shows a week, 2 on Sundays. 4 dead, 12 injured as Bull wins rodeo. Augusta National honors Tiger Woods with own drinking fountain. Tiger Woods announces return to sex. So what does he say here? Not being able to get out there and have sex has really been tough on me, Woods said. I missed it. I love fucking with all of my heart. When I'm out there having sex, I'm a complete control, said Woods, acknowledged master of the long game, who claims he's only truly at peace when he is between the legs of a woman. It's just me, my thoughts, and a high-end escort, and the lounge dancer, and sometimes Caddy Stevie, and probably some other stewardesses I just met. Barbaro euthanized himself. Horse was in a lot of pain, so he took control. Stumbling, bumbling sled dog, sorry, this is my first Iditarod. Darius Kasparaitis out 3 to 4 weeks with Darius Kasparaitis. Stanley Cup playoffs underway. And I just want to read this little bit to you, and then that'll be it. I don't know what this sport really is. We at Onion Sports have difficulty understanding what's going on. But here's the 2008 Stanley Cup playoffs, a set of odd number of game series that will determine the champion of the National Hockey League, are well underway, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman confirmed Monday. At press time, the 4 Hackley teams in contention for the Stickleby Cup were the Detroit Red Wings, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Pittsburgh Flyers, and a team from Dallas, Texas. The Red Wings, one of the NHL's original 4 teams, and the Penguins, who feature one of the Hinkies' rising young stars in Sidney Crosby, are leading their respective series and are expected to advance to the championship round, or Storkley Cup finales. Huckleby, which is played on ice by stick-wielding 6-man teams who attempt to strike the hockey puck or ball into the opposing goal, is naturally a cold-weather sport. For this reason, hooky is believed to have originated in Canada. This will be the first year since 2003 that no Canadian team will make it to the Shackley Cup finals, and no Canadian team has won the cup since 2003. Thank you very much. By the ecstasy of defeat, please. Can
Cuando yo te pregunto que cómo,
Guys, thanks for
cuándo y
coming.
dónde.
Don't start my time yet. Just let me get settled. I'm really impressed that there were people here who asked very good questions to the last talk. That blew my mind. I didn't know what to ask. And then that guy asked a great question. What was the Earth thing? He wanted to get in the news business. So he created a newspaper called The Mercantile Onion, based on the only 2 words of the English language he knew. So here's the very first issue of The Onion. However, in 1783, as you may recall, the great journalism schism of 1783, the Mercantile went on to do its own thing, and The Onion became The Onion as we know it today. This is an issue from 1783. I don't know if you can read all of it, but we have mule deaths of late. Thing you talked about? Real Earth? Rare Earth? I don't know. But I guess it's a real thing, because you nodded and you didn't say that was a dumb thing. So basically I'm here to sell a book. We just released a best of our sports content called The Ecstasy of Defeat. And I'd love everyone to buy one. That's why I'm here. I'm not here for knowledge or to further your knowledge, because The Onion just doesn't care about our readers. But I will say, just to give you some background on The Onion, a lot of people don't know the history. So The Onion was formed in 1765 by a tuber farmer from Prussia named Friedrich Siegfried Zwiebel. And Friedrich came to the United States, and all he had to his name was a sack of yams. And he traded it for a printing press. 40,000 pounds of slave have been lost at sea. Quite a high commodity. Shame to lose that much commodity. The world's tallest man towers at 5 foot 11 inches tall. Benjamin Franklin inventions this week. have